Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. Markets were open today, which was great, but we got a couple of stories to take a look at. First one being Bitfarms. They're going to get to possibly 1.3 exahash in credits for new miners after restructuring some of their loans. So we'll look at that. They also had a huge December and overall 2022 we'll look at. Then Digihost also has some pretty good growth planned out for 2023. They also provided a December update, so we'll look at that. And we got Riot rebranding. Why are they rebranding? We'll take a look at it. And then markets, like I said, were open today. They were down. Bitcoin and Ethereum were actually up today. We'll look at all those. We'll also take a look at the miners. The only one that was down on 52-week low today was Core Scientific. Everybody else had kind of a mixed day. They were somewhere up, somewhere down. But we'll take a look at all that. And as always, you guys know the drill here, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. And I'm investing in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. So let's take a look at the markets here. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. I think I said that twice, didn't I? Maybe. Oh, it's been a long day. Okay, so let's take a look at the markets here. Markets, S&P was down today 0.4% to 3,824. Dow Jones was down 0.03% to 33,136. NASDAQ was down 0.7% to 10,862. Now, Bitcoin is up a little bit here today. If we look at it here, we're having pretty much like a nice 3-day little rally here. Bitcoin was up 0.02%. It was up, but it was up barely. It closed at 16,669 and 47 cents. We had a low of 16,600 and a high of 16,772 and 30 cents on it. RSI is going up a little bit here to 47 on the daily chart right now. Last time we were back here, back in December 26, price at that point was a little bit higher, so really no direction as far as which we're going to go on the daily. The 4-hour chart, RSI has come back up to 58. Last time we were here, I mean, we could possibly go back here, if not further back here. Price is about the same, it looks like. Over here, if we go further back, it was up a little higher. And then finally, the 1-hour chart, we can see here that the RSI has jumped a little bit here to 60.37 right now. And last time we were here was back here. Price was a little higher at that point right now. So we might be going down a little bit if that happens, or we may continue going up. We'll see. Okay. Next, Ethereum. Ethereum was on the daily up today. Let's see here. It was up 0.04%. It closed at 1,214, hit a low of 1,204 and a high of 1,219. RSI right now on the daily is at 51. Last time we were back here, price at that point was higher. Looking at the 4-hour chart, RSI is up higher. If we go back just a little bit here, price was lower, so we are seeing a little bit of a reversal in Ethereum. Looking at the 1-hour chart, the RSI has gone way above being oversold here at 73. And last time we were at this point was back here, price was actually lower. So Ethereum is starting to look a little bit more bullish, at least on the short term. So that's looking good. As far as the miners are concerned, let's go to the daily chart here. Annie was up today 1.63% to 28 cents. Argo was up 7.41% to $1.16. So it's continued a nice, looks like almost 6 trading day rally here. Digital was up 8% to 64 cents. It's been up 3 days in a row. Bitfarms was down 3.02% to 42 cents. So it broke its 3-day rally a little bit. CleanSpark was down 1.47% to $2.01. It also broke its 2-day rally a little bit. Core Scientific also changed. I think they're now on the OTC market. They are now CORZQ, and the stock was down 2.13% to 7 cents. Digihost was up today 11.08% to almost 40 cents at $39.99. And that might be based on the reports that came out for them, which is looking pretty good. We'll look into it as well. DMG was up 1.7% to 10 cents. Greenidge was down 4.36% to 27 cents. Hive was up 6.25% to $1.53. Hut 8 was down 3.81% to 81 cents. Iris Energy was down 4.8% to $1.19. Marathon was down 0.58% to $3.40. Mawson was up huge today, 36.96% to 31 cents. Not sure why that is. I didn't see any news on it. Riot was down 0.59% to $3.37. Soluna was up nicely today, 14.99% to 30 cents. And TerraWolf was up 7.41% to 71.5 cents roughly. I think that's all of them. Yep. Let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick while we're at it. Refresh that, and it is climbing again. It is now at 263 million, and that's on the 7-day average. Let's take a look at the 1-day average. it has come down a little bit here to 261 million on the 1 day. So there you have it. Okay, so that's all the miners, stocks, and Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's take a look at our first story here, which is going to be on Riot Blockchain. So Riot Blockchain announces corporate rebranding to Riot Platforms Inc. Not sure why they did it. They're saying, here's what they had to say. Formerly Riot Blockchain Inc., an industry leader in Bitcoin mining and data center hosting, announces that it has rebranded its corporate name from Riot Blockchain Inc. to Riot Platforms Inc. Riot's rebranding underpins the company's growth strategy to continue expanding its increasingly diversified business operations and reflects a renewal of its corporate vision to become the world's leading Bitcoin-driven infrastructure platform. Okay. I'm wondering what they are currently. But Riot remains focused on securing opportunities to enhance the company's expansion projects across its growing vertical integrated businesses lines. Riot and Whinstone US will rebrand together under Riot Platforms Inc., while Riot's electrical equipment manufacturing business will continue to operate under the ESS Metron brand in order to support its long-established client base. Excuse me. So, I mean, they're not really putting everything under the same umbrella. Why can't they just leave it to Riot Blockchain if they're just combining Winston and Riot together? Just call it what it is. It's a blockchain company. For that part, especially since they're not putting the ESS Metron into the same company name, basically. So it's kind of a moot point, I think. But we'll see how that plays out. I don't know if it's going to affect investors at all because of the rebranding. They might, especially when Bitcoin starts going back up. My thought was that the blockchain name in Riot Blockchain would help brand awareness for the company when Bitcoin goes finally go back up. But we'll see. Okay, so that's it for that one. Next, we'll take a look at Bitfarms here. So Bitfarms mines 5,167 Bitcoin in 2022, up 50% over 2021. That is nice, really nice growth for them this year. They've done a fantastic job. And here are the details. So in December, we energized the remaining portions of the Bunker and Garlock farms, executing our Canadian expansion plan 2.5 months ahead of schedule, said Geoff Murphy, CEO of Bitfarms. So that is a good accomplishment there. Activating the full 96 megawatts in Sherbrooke, as well as completing Warehouse 1 in Rio Cuarto and renegotiating mining contract commitments, we have positioned ourselves for strategic growth with minimal cash outlay in 2023. So that is really good there. In the month, we deployed new miners and underclocked our least cost-efficient miners. So I think that's good there. This improved their efficiency by 15%, resulting in a reduction of nearly 4 megawatts of power consumption and representing substantial cost savings. So that is great to see that they're doing that. And we'll take a look at which miners those might be. CFO Jeff Lucas added, during 2022, we navigated a challenging year. We increased our financial flexibility during the year and are poised to explore emerging equipment and expansion opportunities during this period of industry consolidation. So that is good news there as well. They have done a pretty good job of paying down their debts. Here's what they mined for the month. So total BTC mined was 496, which is a nice improvement over November of 453. Month-end operating hash rate was 4.5 exahash, so about 100 petahash increase from 4.4 in November. BTC sold they sold a lot in December, 1,755 compared to 853, but they used that to pay off some of their debt. So select operating highlights, 4.5 exahash online as of December 31st. So that's up 105% from December of last year and 2% compared to November of this year. Going down here, 486 new BTC mined during December 2022, up 37% from December 2021 and up 9% from November of this year. And we have only a 37% increase here, mainly because the network hash rate has gone up quite substantially this year. So even though they've had a 105% increase in the hash rate, their BTC mine didn't go up as high, but they were really efficient this month around. We'll take a look at it as well. Mining operations. So in Sherbrooke, Quebec, energized the remaining 12 megawatts of the Garlock farm, reaching the full 18 megawatt capacity in early December. So that's good. Brought online the remaining 6 megawatts of phase 3 of the Bunker, reaching the full 48 megawatt capacity in early December as well. So that's great news there. Completed the Sherbrooke campus ahead of schedule, activating the entire 96 megawatts. So that's great. And then completed construction of the first 15 megawatt warehouse in Rio Cuarto, Argentina. That is great also. It would be nice to have some news on miners if they were able to get through customs over there. But they didn't provide anything like that. So they underclocked nearly 2,300 underperforming miners, improving watt per terahash by 15%, with a reduction of nearly 4 megawatts of power consumption, representing important cost savings, which is great there. They also have scheduled 5,600 miners capable of 540 petahash for deployment in Q1 2023 to expand exahash and eventually replace underperforming miners. So that's good there as well. They did do some curtailment, but it was pretty minimal. And we'll see that in the numbers here coming up in a little bit. Financial update. So as we spoke earlier, well, not in this video, but in previous video, they sold the Della Point farm for 3.6 million in net cash and net proceeds. They paid 16.5 million to fully extinguish the BTC-backed facility. So that's good there. Paid down 2 million in equipment-related indebtedness during the month, leaving an outstanding balance of 47 million. They sold 1,755 BTC during December, generating total proceeds of 29.9 million. And then they held still 405 BTC in custody at December 31st, representing a total value of approximately 66.7 million based on the BTC price of 16,600. And they held approximately 31 million in cash and cash equivalents at December 31st, 2022. That makes them pretty healthy financially. They also renegotiated miner purchase agreements, extinguishing payment obligations of 45.4 million without penalties, so that's great, and established a 22.4 million credit for prepaid deposits to be applied against future purchase agreements. So this is where I'm getting the 1.3 exahash potential credits worth. If you take the 22.4 million and divide that by, I'm going by $17 per terahash here. So on the 100 terahash miners, we're looking at potentially getting to 1.3 something. If they're buying the XPs, the 140 terahash miners, those are going to be more expensive. I'm guessing probably closer to the $30 range, 28, somewhere around there, maybe around there because they're more efficient. So they're catching a little bit of a premium. I think they could still get to close to 1 exahash to 1.3. I haven't done the math on it, but I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere around there. So it's all good news there. Now all we got is conferences and events, so that doesn't really concern us. So let's take a look at the numbers we have here for Bitfarms, and we'll get into Digihost next. So Bitfarms has 208 million shares outstanding, calculated based on the market cap of 89 million, and stock price of 43. That's how we're getting the 208 million shares right now. Their current hash rate is 4.5 exahash. Future hash rate that we have here is going to be 7.5. But if they take out some of the miners, the older ones, that's going to drop, and it might drop. Let's see, what might that drop? We got some older ones here. I'm guessing the 63. That's probably going to drop. So they might drop about 600 petahash from that and replace it with some newer miners. But if they still get to 1.3, we're looking at possibly getting them to 8.2 exahash sometime in 2023. Currently, they're operating about 59%, almost 60%. Hash rate growth still about 66%. Average hash rate per miner is 92.9 exahash, or terahash, sorry. BTC hodl is right there. And then if we look at their BTC production, we can see here that it has come back up a little bit nicely here. And also their BTC per exahash efficiency has improved in December to 110 BTC per exahash, which is really good there. They were pretty high here in August, and then things kind of went down a little bit, which is normal. We've seen that pretty much across the board here for all the miners. Okay. Next, the 496 BTC mined, we're guessing it's going to be about 8.4 million in revenue for that. So it is a nice increase over November. And it's about 9.49% increase. They did sell, like they said, 1,755 BTC for 29.9 million. I have 29.7. We're pretty close. And they still have 405 BTC left in hodl position. So that's good there. The miners that we added in were for December here. And those were just these 900, 103 terahash miners that they are getting in. And those were only mining for about 15 days, I calculated, and then the rest were about for 30 and a half days. So pretty good uptime here for them in December compared to, if we look at November was a little bit more down, 28 and a quarter days calculated on this. So that was a nice improvement in uptime. And then we'll see where January comes in and things like that, but we got them at 8.4 million in revenue, so that's good there. Now, institutions, as we look at those, currently institutions are the same, 114. Shares did increase, however, percent owned did decrease, 16.48%. And that's going to be mostly from dilution, I'm guessing, that has decreased. We still have one buy rating and a high, average, and low of $3.66 for them right now. Okay, so let me see here. We still have some 140 terahash miners that still need to come in here. 1,200 of those. We also have quite a bit of these over here, the 103 terahash miners that need to get installed sometime in 2023. Okay, I think a lot of those were going to Argentina potentially, and I think they're just backlogged over there. Now, based on what we have, so you guys might see some changes in here. I got rid of some of the, the 2x, 3x, 4x for Bitcoin. I mean, those never really panned out anyway, so I got rid of that to streamline this process a little bit. Current Bitcoin price is 16,656. That's the average price so far for the month of January. We're going off the data here that's for December on these numbers and the prior 3 quarters, including this current quarter that we're in December ending. So we're looking at 141 million total. If you combine the last 3 quarters that have been already reported, and then this current quarter of 25.9 million, which is still, excuse me, up in the, well, it's not concrete yet. Once they report on that, we'll see how close we can get to it, to their numbers. That's kind of what we're guessing at, about 25.9, so almost 26 million. That gets us to 141 million total. If we're looking at 50% net income from gross revenue with a P of 20, we're looking at a stock price of $6.77. And then if Bitcoin really starts going up nicely and their efficiency improves and margins improve, at 75% net, we're looking at possibly $10.16 at 20. But anywhere between there, I'm guessing between $5.08 and $7.62 is kind of my target for them in the short term when Bitcoin starts going back up. I think that way, well, when Bitcoin starts going back up, I think investors are going to start buying back into these. Okay. Next, I think that's it for it. We pretty much covered everything that I wanted to talk to you guys on Bitfarms. They've had a really good year as far as growth has been concerned. We can see it, BTC that they've been mining. Efficiency has been also good, and their overall growth has been really good as well. If we look at the miner comparison here, we can see, let me see here, hash rate growth. So if we look at Bitfarms, they started at 2.3 in January. They are at 4.5 now in December. So really good growth there. They are up, let me see, don't have it here. I think it's down here further. They are up, let's see here. Year to date, they are up about 88.65%. Month over month was 4.9%. So really good growth for them. Okay, that is it. Let me know if you guys have any questions on Bitfarms or if I missed anything. Let me know down in the comments below. Next, let's take a look at Digihost. So Digihost has been growing quite, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot slower than Bitfarms or some of the other guys have been. But they're still growing and they are planning for pretty good growth in 2023 for them. So let's take a look at it here. The company is pleased to report that it mined approximately 832 BTC during the year ended December 31st, exceeding 2021 annual production of 521 BTC by approximately 60%. So that's still really good growth for them. Monthly production highlights for December: mined 56.96 BTC, resulting in total holdings of 111.32 BTC at the end of December, valued at approximately 1.84 million. And let's see, what else do we have here? Consistent with management's commitment to avoid equity dilution for its shareholders, the company sold a portion of its BTC production during December to fully fund its energy costs. So we'll take a look at that. And then the only debt Digihost carries as of December 31st, in addition to normal trade payables, is vendor take-back mortgage on its Alabama facility in the amount of $934,500. So that's not too bad. Here is their year-over-year quarterly comparison. You can see here 190 in Q4 of this year, 172 in last year. And let me see. I mean, Bitcoin was a lot more valuable than 46,000 compared to 16,000. So it is a big difference as far as production is concerned, about half of that. 3,154,000 compared to 7,982,000. Now, some updates on their plans. So the company is finalizing closing documentation related to Digihost acquisition of the 60 megawatt power plant in North Tonawanda. During December of 2022, the company received approval for the power plant acquisition from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. All state and federal regulatory approval required to complete the acquisition transaction have now been received by the company. Management expects the acquisition to close in Q1 of 2023. So that's, I mean, we're in it right now, so that's really good. The power plant will provide the company with computing capacity of approximately 1.3 exahash, based upon an initial power generation run rate for the plant of approximately 50 megawatts. They are, let me see here, upon closing, yeah, so they'll be able to utilize the 50 megawatts upon closing immediately. The Alabama site phase 1 build-out continued on schedule and on budget, with initial mining capacity of 100 petahash coming online during the month of December. They didn't provide as far as what they are right now at, so I don't know if this is, I'm guessing it got added on. Maybe we could add it on to their hash rate, but we'll see. Phase 1 scheduled for completion in Q1 of 2023 will provide the company with 22 megawatts of power, resulting in total mining capacity of approximately 550 petahash. So that's good there. The Alabama site has total potential power capacity of 55 megawatts. The company is currently working on design phase 2 for the Alabama site, which could provide Digihost with an additional 33 megawatts of power. So that is also going to be good there. So that's going to give them up another, 600 some petahash additionally to that. And then Digihost total operating capacity comprised of the company's existing NYS operations and mining capacity from the NT power plant in phase 1 of the Alabama site build-out is projected to be approximately 2.2 exahash by the end of Q1 of 2023. So that's right around the corner. That's really good. 2.2 exahash growth is going to be really good for them. And then North Carolina expansion. As announced earlier this year, the company acquired 25 acres of land in North Carolina with a potential power allocation of 200 megawatts. The company expects to commence development of North Carolina site in Q1 of 2024. So that is a year away, but that is good that they are planning on growing. I'm always harping on these mining companies to grow, and I love seeing companies that are actually planning to grow in the future as well. So this is great by Digihost. Okay, let's take a look at the numbers that we have for them, and we'll call it a day. So let's see, where's Digihost? Digihost is here. So Digihost, 23.8 million shares outstanding, stock price of 40 cents, market cap of 9.5 million right now. Current hash rate 650. If they added the 100 petahash to that, we're looking at 750 petahash. Future hash rate, I have them at 1.1. Don't have anything else reported for them as far as additional miners coming online. So that'll be interesting to see what they actually do there to grow. Okay. Operationally, there are 56% operational right now. Future hash rate growth is 75%. And hash rate average per miner is 99 terahash, so that's really good there. BTC HODL is 111.32, valued at 1.8 million roughly. We can see that their BTC production has been coming down here recently. That's because they're not growing. And their BTC per exahash as well has been coming down because they're not growing. So we really need to see growth in these companies in order for these numbers to stay up and continue to go up. Otherwise, if you're flat, your numbers are going to come down because network hash rate is going up and difficulty is going up and you're going to be producing less. So we need to see growth. Now, for the month of December, they mined 56.96 BTC. That gave us a BTC per exahash 87. That's kind of low. And they generated about 965,000 of that. They did sell, based on my numbers here, about 44.02 Bitcoin. That's valued at 746,000. And let's take a look at the miners. Miners, we didn't add anything in there, but they said they got an additional 100 petahash potentially in there. So that would have been a combination of maybe these two here of 102 terahash miners being added in. And then if we added those in and they were mining for the month, they would have been mining even less possibly to get us to the 965,000 for the month. So they would have been maybe down to 22 days of mining instead of 24 days. So I'm waiting for a confirmation on it. Once I get a confirmation on it, then I will update this that they did actually add the 100 petahash in December. Okay. Now, as far as institutions are concerned, they still have 18 institutions, so it's a decrease from 19 from last month. Shares went down a little bit too, to 1.84 million from 1.86, and percentage owned went down to 6.57 from 6.65. Now, the application I'm using for institutions or analysts was not showing any data, so I marked it as 0 for any strong buy, hold, underperform or sell analyst ratings, and high, average, and low went down to 0 because there's just nothing that's being reported right now, at least. I'll update this if this does change, and it was just a glitch in the software that I'm using, potentially. Okay, so looking at that, we are looking for them to possibly be, for the last 4 quarters, four quarters, total revenue of about 22 million, looks like. We know the revenue for the last 3 quarters, which was about 18.5 million. This quarter, we're looking at about 3.5 million. So it has been coming down here in the last couple quarters. Second quarter was at 7.6 million. Third quarter was at 4.1, and then this one's going to be even lower at 3.5, and that's because of lack of growth, like I keep saying. Okay, so we're waiting on that number, which we'll get possibly in February, I'm guessing. Sometime towards the end of February, we probably should get the end of year numbers, which will then get the Q4 numbers as well. But looking that they are going to be growing quite nicely. If they can get an additional 2.2 exahash, that will get them to about 3.3 exahash by the end of next year, or this year potentially, which is 2023 already. I would think based on the amount of shares that they don't have a lot of shares out, not a lot of dilution. I could easily see them getting a 15 multiple on it. So 50% net income, we're looking at $6.91 to $10.37 potentially, if that works out. Okay, so that is it. That's kind of where I'm looking at. We will do some more videos on, I don't know if we're going to be in a bear market this year. It's kind of hard to predict anything that's going to happen going forward, but let me know what you guys think of the numbers here for them, for Digihost and for Bitfarms. And like I said, I'm working on some numbers to see if we can maybe guess, best guess estimate projections where Bitcoin might be by the end of the year. I'm thinking maybe closer to 20, some 30,000 currently. If that all works out, I think the first half of the year is going to be flat, maybe down a little bit, and then finally the second half will maybe pick up a little bit. Especially once we get closer to the halving event, I think it's going to pick up even more. So, but we'll cover that in another video. Okay, so that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. And spreadsheets, like always, they're available to my Patreon members there. Thank you for everyone signing up there. And thank you so much for watching. Love you all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.